enjoy what we are doing on here. I
Yeah.
don't think that other guy over on Bantayan is enjoying what he does. I think it's some sort of a therapeutic self therapy method to come on here and talk about all this fucking nonsense just because he has no other opportunity to talk to people in a real life setting. That's pretty sad. That is
Yeah.
pretty sad. And last but not least, Roberto, the reason why he's always talking about other people's health is because he's preoccupied with these topics because he fucking fears that one day the doctor, and that day will come, that day is not far. One day the doctor will tell him, listen, there is some sort of health issues that I would like to talk to you about. And then his dream, living out there on that remote island, is probably going to, how should I say, going to get cracks, right? Then he would need to make tough decisions, maybe move closer to the city, maybe move closer to an area where he can get medical support. And that's going to cost a lot of money. And he knows it. So he somehow deflects from it and talks about your fucking gastro bypass, whatever it's called, talks about uh, Popeye's fucking e-scooter or whatever it is, because apparently Popeye can't walk anymore. You know, he always has this health slash sickness angle that he throws in there. And that's because he's preoccupied and fears these fucking issues, as we saw over the last few years. And last but not least, this was a guy who was pissing and shitting on Michael Thomas Fazio, making fun of
Yep.
his health,
That's where the karma
even
comes in.
after even after Michael Thomas Fazio already passed away. That shows you what kind of wild, rotten character he is.
Yep.
And you know, I pity fucking Al, but the fact that Al died just a couple of weeks later after Fazio passed away, it's kind of like 1 month and 4 days, is kind of what you mentioned could be seen as karma. Disgusting, indeed.
Yeah, definitely is karma because when someone, I mean, karma is a bad thing. It's a devil's, it's devil's work. So when you keep putting out this karma against other people, wishing them ill, wishing them dead, and wishing that, they're going to die of your diabetes or a heart attack or whatever, it's going to come fold. And he knows that. But yet he denies it and says karma doesn't is that's not true. Karma has hasn't done nothing to me, you know. Just because my brother's related, it's related. Yes, of course. Karma is something that happens to you or your immediate family. What goes around comes around, okay? You wish Fazio dead, so now your brother's dead. Hallelujah, right? Maybe he needs to be dead because you know he doesn't have to deal with your ass. Now he's in heaven with Fazio, rest in peace, and he's better off dead instead of having to deal with you. But of course, you don't claim your brother as your immediate family anymore. You got a bot family in the Philippines. Your bot family, you buy them. Of course, they're gonna respect you because you're feeding them, you're putting a roof over their head, but yet you ignore your real family, your blood family, which is ridiculous. I would never think in a million years that I would be away from my four girls, even if they piss me off. I'm always gonna be there for them. Always gonna communicate with them. I communicate with them now. All my grandkids, all my girls, my brothers, my sister, my aunt and uncle, my cousins in the Philippines. That's how family oriented we are. Imagine he's with the Filipina, and Filipinos in general are family oriented people, right? When they have a white man comes in and dis- discredit his own family by saying that they're not my family anymore because they piss me off. We don't see eye to eye, so I don't
mm,
deal with them. Now my
mm.
family is here in the Philippines, which is not your family in the Philippines. Marry the girl, make her your official family, adopt his kids, his younger kids. Then then you can show your public or your subscribers that, hey, I am what I am, and I love my family, so I'm going to marry her and I'm going to adopt these kids. Now that's something to do, but you just buying them stuff, you just buying their love. That's all you're doing, buying their love, because you don't have no love for your original family, so which is kind of sad. I mean, I can imagine not talking to my daughters, not for a minute. I contact them 2 3 times a week, each one of them, by phone, by Skype, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so yeah. Karma did kill Big Al because uh, Francis predicted it. Like he predicted Fazio to die. He predicted his brother to die. Well, actually, he didn't, because he he wasn't connected with the karma at that point. He couldn't see his brother dying because he has no communication with him.
He,
He doesn't
he's
know.
just
He lied that
he's
he
just a very he's just a very egoistic fucking prick.
Well, he lied that he talked to his brother like the day before he passed away, which was bullshit. Because then he later on said he he didn't know that he died for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So
it's
what
all
the
fucking
fuck with
BS, really.
that?
It's all BS.
That's pretty sad. Let me play this quick video.
Sure, sure.
Let me get on track here. But I again, Aloe, it's sad. It is sad that his brother passed away, and may he rest in peace. I We don't have no ill will to his brother, but uh, being his Francis being his brother is freaking karma. It's about time something happened to him. Close to his side of the family. Let me play something real quick here. Let's see. Hang on. Oh, here we go. March 8th. He's now knowing about it. That's pretty sad.
I mean, he claimed that he has contact with his brother every single day or every now
Yeah.
and then and these people know about Al's health conditions, and it's just I don't understand. And the guy was actually longing for Frank to be in his life. We have voicemails where he reached out to several people where he tried to talk to the tenants, and I quote, now that Frank is gone, we were always like family, and I miss you guys, and I would like to get together again and have some sort of communication. I would want you to be in my life in one way or the other. And that is a sign of somebody who is desperate for somebody to, he needed somebody to talk to, and he needed somebody to be there for him. And what did Frank do? He just went overseas and does his fucking live streams, talks about, as I said, about nonsense, gets caught up in the fucking YouTube drama. up to the point that he fucking screens the internet looking for negative comments about him, trying to intimidate people by telling them, if you cross a red line, I'm going to do to you what I did to Bama. Delusions of grandeur, delusions of being powerful, delusions of being in control. This is this is a complete fucking loser. I mean, he's probably listening to this right now. He's going to rebuttal it by Alan the Winter is mentally ill.
Well,
Okay,
he
Frank,
just
I
said
give you
about a
that.
half an hour ago that he just popped some
Yeah.
Benzeral and he's going to bed.
And Roberto
Yeah.
is just a fat piece of shit who is divorced. And okay, as far as I'm concerned, Frank, you know what? I'm a loser. I'm Alan Fry. I'm gay. I'm broke. I'm 3 foot tall and 500 pounds overweight, whatever. Okay, because unlike you, whatever you say or do, I just don't give you that importance, that power over me. And maybe it's unfair because I'm a troll. I really do not identify with these things that happen on the internet. I came on here just to mock people and get a rise out of them. And that's about it. But he looks at this as some sort of mission, to crucify fucking people in his crusade of righteousness, self-centeredness, and validation. I mean, and now we see his true colors. People are passing away. He is in his fucking late 60s. Um, Looking for trouble everywhere on the fucking internet because he has really no real life interaction. I mean, it's quite sad if you think of it. And
Yeah,
he
that's not the way
thinks,
living because he's
but look,
saying
look, 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 Roberto. He
best
thinks that if
revenge
he would
is
just
living
go
well.
away, if he thinks that if he just goes away and says, "Fuck it, I don't need this anymore. I want to enjoy my life, my golden years in the Philippines with my apparently that's what he says, with his fantastical family."
Bought family.
If that's the case, why are you on fucking YouTube
Yeah,
like
enjoy your family
five,
then.
6 hours? And why
If
did
they
you
passed away, you wouldn't
why
know
do you
because you're
why
on
do
your
you get
freaking
caught
YouTube.
up in all of this fucking shit?
If Gilda
It's
passed away
ridiculous.
today, he wouldn't know because he's on YouTube. Gilda have a heart attack. Tomorrow he wouldn't know because he'd be on YouTube. Talking about health issues, which is really ridiculous because his health is not all that good. He couldn't even figure out why he's snoring, and why he can't sleep because it's the freaking Benadryl you freaking take every freaking night. That slows down your freaking breathing and
Is it
slows up your
actually
freaking uh your
actually is probably one of these guys who goes on the internet and Googles all the symptoms. That there are people out there, and I'm not
maybe.
saying that is wrong or something like that, but there are people out there when they see I have a fucking pimple on my knee, they go and Google cyst on knee reasons, click, 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 and then all of a sudden they have fucking knee cancer, and they go start to get nervous about it and read up on it. And I think he is that kind of guy. He is
I
that
can tell you
kind of
what he
guy
got.
who's
He got
so
freaking sleep
fucking
apnea,
fearful of it.
and he's getting a little
I
bit
mean,
belly on him because he's eating all that freaking ice cream and steak and all that shit. His arteries freaking clogging up and all that sugar from the ice cream.
listen, there's no point. Let's put it this way, Frank, when you're listening, there's no point staying healthy and in shape if you spend your golden years being on fucking YouTube, going after people, filing cases against them. You could as well just eat fucking cheeseburgers all day long, get drunk, and die in a month or two. Because if you are going to spend the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years on fucking YouTube doing live streams every single day, spending like 6 to 7 hours doing live streams and probably reading comments another 2 to 3 hours. What does he actually do? He showers, he eats, he rubs one out, He puts some Skippy peanut butter on his lousy toast bread, and the rest of the day he just reads fucking comments and then goes on the internet and talks about shit. That's his life.
Yeah,
And
I don't
in the
want to be that
evening, when he
guy.
can't fucking sleep, he throws in a Xanax or two, benzos or whatever meds he takes, sleeps a little bit, gets up again, does another fucking live stream. I mean, this guy's a nut job. I mean, I hope that you guys start to realize that, right?
Yeah. Well,
What is
the
it what
side
you
effects
wanted
of
to?
those taking those medication, it gets dry mouth and it's dizziness, blurred vision, constipation, urinary retention, shit like that, man. That guy's going downhill, man. He's 72. He should slow that shit down because the older you are and the more medication you take, it's definitely going against you.
I
He
think he's
says
60. I think he's 69. I believe he's 69.
yeah, he's 69, but he's freaking might as well say 70. He'd be 70 in a month or so. He's 70 years old, man. He's freaking gonna be
Yeah,
one foot in freaking
his
grave.
his his brother his brother was 72. His brother Al was
Yeah.
72 when he
So it's only like 3-4 years older, didn't it?
passed away. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Francis is 69.
and plus he has all these medical issues, especially the mental issues. What passport saying? He has mental illness because he's taking Benadryl. He's taking stuff for his anxiety. He has depression.
I mean, it's
I'd rather
obvious that
be
he has a
fat than
personality
having
disorder.
any mental issues because mental
Yeah.
issues kind of when you get older, as he is now, he's going to get dementia because all the medication he's taken and all the depression medication, he's going to end up getting dementia and he's going to freaking die alone, because Gilda's not going to be there for him. She's going to shove him up to a freaking old folks home if there is one in the Philippines where old folks die. Are they? I don't know. So she's going to shove him up in the old folks home, take his money, because his money's going into his bank account, and she'll get paid. She don't have to claim him being dead. She could just say nothing to the government, U.S. government, and that money was still coming in, and she'd be raking it in. So she hopes he dies soon, because she'd be raking it in for sure. She's not stupid. She married because I don't think she got what she deserves, basically, because she could do better. I think she can do better. She's kind of cute in a way, very mature lady. She could have done better.
Well,
So
but
but
excuse me.
she settled for no, look, she settled for him because that's all she can get at this point. And he himself settled for her because that's all he can get. He can't get anything
Excuse me,
younger.
who are you talking about right now? I mean,
Yeah.
you mean the dude he lives with, or can you repeat what you just said? Just the way you said it, I'm at the loss of words here right now. Who could do better?
Well, okay. For because he claims that a 35-year-old girl like Shaw is that she can't get any man because in the Philippines that if you're a 35-year-old you can't you're done. That's what he claims that Filipinas are done after 35. So she's 47, 40 whatever. So she won't get another man. So she has to stick with them. She has to settle with them. Okay? Quit laughing at me or I'll kick your ass.
You mean the dude he lives with?
I'm going to be down there soon.
What are you talking about? Oh, Jesus Christ. No, come on. She's a, I mean, she's a complete, she's nuts, eh? They deserve each other. What are you talking about? It's like she's kind of cute and stuff like that. She's fucking nuts.
I'm just trying to be nice, okay?
You're not in the business of being nice. And you know that. She's fucking nuts.
Oh, hello, hello, hello.
The chick is out of fucking control. And if I would not be a guy with a sense of humor, I would start bashing him because he impersonates me because of my admittedly weird accent. But have you checked out her accent? You,
Yeah.
you guys over there in Pantayan are really in no position to make fun of my fucking accent.
Well, if he claims, the best revenge is living well, he needs to live better. He needs to get off of YouTube and start living his life with his bot family, his purchased family, and then, go on with life before he dies. Because the more he's on YouTube, the more stress he'll get. And that's when he's going to get a heart attack. You could already see it. I'm predicting this because I see it in him. He's getting weak. He's getting all these little symptoms, his snoring, his smacking, his dry mouth, taking too much Benadryl every freaking night. It's like his mental situation is going downhill. Guarantee you. And I predict by
Oh,
the end of the
the
year,
guy is a clown. The
something's going
guy
to
is a
happen to
clown,
him.
and this is why.
Something's going
Look,
to
the guy
happen
is
to
a
him.
look.
Some
On a
serious.
more serious note, let's ask yourself. If you, and I know you have a brother.
Yeah.
Your brother is sick. You know he is sick. You know he has been sick for many years.
Right.
What do? Get your
I'd
fucking
be on the
priorities
plane.
straight. Go there, help
Yep.
him, call him, email him, make him feel that he's not alone out there. That's what family does. And I find it funny that it's these guys who preach about family values and get involved in all that shit, but themselves are really in no position to talk about anything related to
There's no room to
family,
talk about family values.
healthcare, whatever. And look, I see this is tragic on a more serious note now. Okay, this is tragic. This is tragic from so many angles because I believe Al is not a bad guy. He has been drawn into this, and again, I do not know the guy, but first impressions somehow matter. I always felt like he is that. Excuse me when I say this. He was a little bit like the retarded brother. It's a little bit like in that movie Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. Al would be Dustin Hoffman, and Frank would be Tom Cruise. I know it sounds absurd, but that's where I'm going with this. And so I felt really bad about that because it's tragic. And even now that his brother Al is gone, there's no reaction there. There's no change in habits. He just continues with his live streams about nothing. And I wonder, is this because that's the way how he copes with the trauma? Because at the end of the day, he lost his fucking brother.
Man, that's
And
ridiculous.
that must be traumatic. And because he said it, if you pay that bothers me is I wasn't able to say goodbye. That's one thing. And then another thing he said, I'm trying not to get emotional here. I knew about it, but I continued with doing my live streams because it's the way how I tried to cope with it. I didn't want my subs to know about it, something like that. And
why even mention it on TV on YouTube, man?
on YouTube, yes. And
Why
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 even
would you
think
throw out
about
your
the
laundry
subs?
like that? I can't get
Yeah,
him.
and
He
why
tells
and why and why and why even think about what the subs say or think or do? Because at the end of the day, he doesn't know his fucking subs. These are people with names like Space Cowboy or Super Troll or Gummy Bear Man or Horse Rider or whatever. I mean, why does he think that those people on his channel really matter when it comes to this very tragic family event in his life? And I think he needs to get his fucking priorities straight because actually, I believe that we are witnessing the meltdown of the slow meltdown, I must say, of Frank here. I mean, his fucking mental health has been deteriorating for a very long time now. And I wouldn't be surprised that at some point he would just fucking completely lose it and needs to go back to the US, living in a fucking institution or something. At the end of the day, I think if nothing happens to him, that's actually a real possibility that at some point he would completely lose it, and then it would be his daughter over in the US who would need to take care of him and look after him because Gilda is completely overwhelmed by this task. She's going to be completely overwhelmed by this task. I mean, look at her.
Why would you want to spend
Frank
more
is
time?
now, Frank became very crazy.
Yeah. Well, let me play you
You
something real
wanted
quick.
to,
I just saw on.
yeah, please go ahead.
Frank.
Please go ahead before I get completely carried away here.
Well, just hang on a second there. Let me play this real quick. This is what he does. He spends his time on YouTube surfing. I mean, this guy, if I was a new subscriber to his channel, hello, if I was a new subscriber to his and I want to, see what this guy's all about,
Mm-hmm.
you could do it in 3 minutes. You could see his videos, how hateful he is, because he fights with everybody. He fought with everybody. He's like a lone man on the island by himself. No friends, no companion. Gilda's not his companion. Kids are not his companion. They're freaking bot companions. They're bots. So you can scratch them out. They're there for the
There's
freaking
a financial
yeah.
there's a
There's
financial dependency. That's
exactly
what
that's
this
all it
is.
is. That's all to them
Yeah.
is. Their mother says, "Boys, please be nice to Francis because he's, giving us his money, got us this house.
Yeah.
So be nice to him,
House,
okay?"
food, everything.
Yep. And you eating good. You got ice cream. You got pizza. You got steak. I don't think he gives the steak to the boys. Probably wasted. He said it's
Just
wasted money.
nod. Just
Yeah.
nod when he talks to you. Just say
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he talks to you,
Opo.
smile
Opo.
at him.
Opo. Opo.
Oh,
Opo.
oh, yes,
Opo.
yes, prank, prank.
Salamat. 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 Salamat, Francis.
It's pretty sad.
It
It's really
is.
sad, and I wonder how long will it take him to realize that is just wasting his time. Because in his little world, getting off YouTube is equal to defeat, right? That's how he thinks. It's kind of like a little bit like high school standard level here. It's kind of like I can't be seen as weak, else everybody on YouTube is going to make fun of me. So I need to hang in there and show that I'm a tough guy. And I need to remind everyone out there that for 8 long years, nobody made me retire from YouTube because I am the internet rumble. I always come back. I'm now, and if I'm not on YouTube, then I'm just missing in action. But I will fight on for the American people. That's how Frank sees himself, as some sort of internet action hero. He's a little bit like the Arnold Schwarzenegger who is going to clean house in Pantaya Island, right? And
Yeah.
he sees himself as some sort of messiah. He has a mission. He's not going to back down. And usually things like this happen because you have nothing else going on. If you were in a good relationship, if you would really enjoy your life out there, being on the internet 24/7 is going to be the last thing you
Yeah.
would do.
That's not a
And
life. Not a life at all.
listening to this live stream here, probably taking notes and then coming out with a live stream tomorrow or the next day. where he rebuttals it, where he has to set the
Well, he'll
record
claim
straight.
that he kind of, peeked
Who
in.
cares?
He doesn't really listen to my show, but he once in a while he'll pick in. Motherfucker,
It's
you
always the
surf like
same shit.
you want to know when I come
Roberto
on.
is fat. Roberto is fat. Roberto is divorced. Roberto is eating his own
I'm
barbecue.
happily
Roberto is broke,
27
right?
years marriage, happily. Got a
Yeah, and
beautiful wife,
look,
beautiful house.
I'm not here to lie for you, but guys, sometimes Roberto and I talk on the phone, and then I listen to. I mean, I hear his wife and daughters in the background making jokes, and there's laughter in there. He interacts with them. It doesn't really sound like a guy who has been divorced, and them living in different houses. That's complete fucking bullshit. It's the
Which is
same with Popeye.
That's a
You know,
good
when
point.
when they when people say Popeye bought that fucking e-scooter because he can't walk anymore. He is broke. He lives in his fucking daughter's house. Where do you come up with this fucking bullshit? Because
Well,
I have
that's
seen
a
the
good
fucking
point
shit
there, Aloe.
myself. It's not the case. I mean,
Aloe,
I
that's
would
a
be
good
the
point.
first guy who would
If my
enlist
wife,
in the anti whatever army here and go after these guys. I mean, I have no loyalty to nobody. I'm a fucking
right,
piece of shit. I go after everybody. But I would never hang out with people who are fucking criminals. If you guys have fucking documents out there that show me that Popeye fucking beat up his fucking wife and got thrown out of the fucking Navy, I'm the first guy who's going to recruit the top trolls in the community, and we're going to virtually beat the shit out of him. I'm all in. Bring it on. It's no problem. I'm not here to fucking support or defend people. Everybody is fucking, how should I say, fair game. I would even go after you, fucking Roberto, if I would find out that you did some shit in the past, and I accept the same for me. If you find
right.
out that I am a woman or
And
something
you
like
know I'll
that,
find you too. I'll find you. I just
if you
want to
guys
find that
find out,
watch you're wearing.
if you
I
can
just
come up
want
with
to that watch you're
some
wearing
documents,
and that
yeah,
shoes.
yeah. If you can come out with some documents proving that I am a woman or something, and then I'm fair game. That you can bash the shit out of me on the World Wide Web. I would accept that. That's no problem at all. But look, on a more serious note, don't get caught up with all this kind of fucking shit here. That's the message to Frank. I mean, the nutter will never listen to this, but don't get caught up like this, man. I mean, it's like your brother just passed away, and you are like 69 fucking years old. I mean, your brother's like 3 years older than you, and there's really no guarantee that this could happen to you in a year or two. And then you don't want to look back and say, you know what? Instead of hanging out with Gilda, walking along the beach, holding her hand and drinking a coconut juice or something like that under the palm trees on Bantayan Island, instead of doing that, how romantic, you were on the fucking internet listening to Ala de Winter and Roberto. I mean, come on, you see that there is a there's a fucking gap here between good life and not so good life. You don't want to spend your fucking time on here, especially not if you don't find any entertainment in everything we say and do on here. Right? It's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
Well, definitely he's got to rethink his strategy as far as telling people, you know, the best revenge is living well. Well, you haven't showed us yet that you're living well. You know, definitely. I mean, anybody in the world can come on your channel and see that you're not living well. You're miserable. You're stressed out, constantly stressed out because the one person on your mind, uh, you know, Barry J or yeah, what's
I
his
mean, I
name? Barry
love I love the fucking drama when people fucking destroy each other's life and shit like that. I love that. But look, I'm not. I mean, have you ever heard Frank laugh about like a joke or something like that, minus being mean or being sarcastic about something. He never really has fun on his fucking shows. It's always about putting others down, or it's about proving a point that he can't be fucked with, right? That he is the guy that you better don't cross him, right? You can do whatever you want, but you cannot do it to the mob boss himself, right? The guy's like 4 foot or something. He is old, he is frail, he is weak, has never done anything in his life to be proud of. He's a complete zero. Who is he trying to fucking impress?
Well, the thing
I
is,
mean,
he's the way he grew up is basically the same way he is right now. He calls people out. He calls them fat and you know fat shame them, whatever. And then when someone confronts him, he cries, woof. He goes to the principal, say, this boy's want to beat me up. Well, why does boy wants to beat you up? Because you open your freaking big mouth, and you harass people to come see you. Now, what kind of person does that who can't back it up, without having to run to the police or, hide behind his girlfriend skirt or stay in his room for about half an hour before he answers the door? That's the
I
kind of
ask
guy who,
myself, because look, I ask myself this question, and I would like to ask the people in the chat as well. Think about the following thing. We all know Frank has this big, loud mouth where he thinks he can intimidate people. And I ask myself, did he ever get in trouble for that? Did I mean he must have been like that for a very long time now. And he seems to talk a very big game. I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And so I wonder about one question only. Did he ever get in trouble for that? In real trouble? Did somebody out there in his past ever beat the shit out of him? And I think that never happened,
never happened.
because else he would think of it and say, you know what, maybe I should not go too far with all of this, because somebody
Exactly.
who talks like this always got away with it. I mean, look at what happened in Hawaii, where he stepped up to that. I mean, where he went up to that fucking fence to his neighbor, where he started to yell, where he said something along the lines of, you better get inside your fucking house, you better walk away right now. And that just fucking shows that has not been the fucking first time. It was just caught on cam, right?
Right.
And when Gilda sometimes says something in the back, where that happened several times, he would mute the live stream and then he would really get loud. And that really gives you an idea about what kind of a person he is. And that's also one of the reasons why he has no contact to his sister. I didn't even fucking know he had a sister. Why he has no constant regular communication to his daughter. And that's the reason why he lives somewhere overseas with a married woman, 8 kids, on a lonely island in the middle of nowhere, spending his time on the fucking internet. Let's be real about this for a second. So I ask myself, did ever somebody out there really teach this clown a lesson? And I think that never happened. And that amazes me, because he is 69 fucking years old and he always got away with it. He always fucking got away with it. And and that in itself is so strange that it's almost like an achievement in itself. He never met his fucking match. And that must be the root cause of,
Nobody
of
is his
his
match.
of his fucking bravado and loud mouth. Because
Yeah.
if somebody is like this, if somebody acts like this in the US, overseas, wherever he goes, he actually would attract a lot of negative attention. And sooner or later, you would just get the shit beaten out of you, right? And that never happened to him, because
Let
this
me
guy,
answer this
this guy is
one question
physically
there.
fucking weak. I mean, let's be real about that. The guy is weak. I mean, everybody on here. I mean, I don't know how tall you are, and your weight, but I think you are probably like 6+, and I'm also 6 foot. something. And when Frank talks like this, like I'm going to kick your ass, you're hiding and stuff like that. If it would really be a real confrontation, I just don't know why he thinks that people are intimidated by him, why people are afraid of him, because he really feels and thinks that way. Just the way how he acts, his demeanor, he really believes that people are afraid of him. There's no reason to be afraid of Frank. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a teenager trying to be some sort of tough guy, and you just dismiss it because you know that that guy or that little boy doesn't know what he is talking about. And that's how I honestly feel about Frank. When Frank says, "Hello, you're a coward. I'm going to beat the shit out of you" and stuff like that, then I just yeah, whatever, Frank. I let you win this one because I just don't take this guy serious at all. I mean, I just stopped taking this guy. I just look at the guy as a constant source of entertainment, and that's about it. I mean, we all saw when he met his arch enemy in TGIF
Yeah.
that nothing happened, and that's always going to be like that. And you know what? I don't want to throw Nico under the bus here, but I do know it was exactly the same in a face-to-face situation. He's the nicest guy. Like, oh yes, come in, let me shake your hand, let's take a few pictures. You want to suck my dick? I'm going to suck yours. We are friends. And then a day or two later, that's when he starts to run his fucking mouth. And I do not know what the future holds, but I think Roberto, um, if it's God's will, and if you will meet him one day, it's going to be exactly like that. He's going to shake your hands. He's going to give you a foot massage. He's going to give you
Suck
some,
my
I don't know,
dick.
he might even wear some eyelash extensions for you when you
Pull down
come
my
to his
zipper and
place.
pull my
He's
dick
not
out and
going to
suck
do
it.
anything. He's not
While
going to do
Gilda's
anything.
watching.
And once you leave town, he's going to say that Roberto was scared of him, that he could have done something. But Roberto apologized, was on his knees begging for his forgiveness. He would come up with the strangest fucking stories. And that's what he does all the fucking time. All the fucking time. It's just fucking nuts. It's just fucking nuts. It's just fucking nuts.
Well, before I lose my thought, let me go back to this question. What are Frank's hobbies? You know what? Frank doesn't have any hobbies. He doesn't. He's a person that is not athletic. Never played football, baseball, basketball, badminton, you know, hockey, or nothing in his life. He's
Although
he
no,
doesn't
he
like
did,
to
he did.
he doesn't like to party. I mean,
No,
he
but I
doesn't.
have to correct you. He did, he did. He played football, one season, Baltimore Ravens, but one season only.
Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, NFL linebacker or something like that. I'm not really familiar, but
He was a
he
linebacker. No, he'd be more
it
of
was a
a
linebacker,
his size
Baltimore
would be
Ravens.
more of a kicker, place kicker, or a holder or punt holder. That's the best he can probably do. There's no way he can tackle anybody. Probably doesn't have the strength to tackle anybody, even in his younger days. He probably is freaking so weak, and that's
Did
why
you see
he
his
stopped
pictures
doing karate because he.
in his younger? I mean, did you see his pictures when he was younger?
Yeah, but still, when he was younger,
The, the,
the
the
guy's a
guy looked like
weasel.
a
You can
good for
freaking.
nothing
I
fucking
could punch
punk,
him with one arm behind my back and still freaking
right?
knock him out.
Oh, but when you saw his, I mean, impressions can be very misleading in some ways. But my impression was like, this is a good for nothing fucking punk, a guy that you don't even want to hire for some Walmart job or something like that. Just somebody who can't hold a job over a year or two. A good for nothing, a jack of no trades.
Yeah. The best he can do is pick up condoms in the freaking park. That's the best he can do.
Yeah, but that's not a fucking
You know,
job.
he,
That's some
he,
sort of a
he
program for
I know, but
punks that don't
everything in his
have
life,
real
he
jobs.
failed. He failed his photography class. He failed scraping barnacles off of ships. He failed, picking up condoms in the park. I mean, this guy's a failure. I mean, what has he done in his life really besides, jumping from job to job, going from place to place, running away from New York, go to Seattle. He has two uh, bankruptcies in Seattle, and they both were Chapter 7, which is uh, to pay off his debt. And so he lied when he said that he had money from his Seattle sale of his house. Bullshit. He has two bankruptcies, selling his house so he can pay back the debt that he owes. It's not Chapter 13; it was Chapter 7. That's
I wonder.
You
I wonder
liquidate your
why he
assets.
actually moved
That's
out.
you
I
liquidate your
wonder why he
assets.
actually moved to Hawaii.
Because he's running away from his financial problems in Seattle. He couldn't handle. He had to
I
he
mean,
had to leave.
there must be a reason why he went out there. It's not that he just chose Hawaii because it seems to be like the dream for people out there. Like, I want to live in Hawaii. That the magic that comes with it. There's another reason for that. There's absolutely another reason for that. Why he
He
from the
runs
east
away
to west
from every
coast and
place he's
then
been. He's running away.
uh to Hawaii. Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah. That's probably the
and
case. That is really the case.
when
And
you
what's
move,
strange? What's strange is the fact that for a very long time he actually lived with his brother. I mean, who lives with a brother until fucking 50s, 60s?
right.
I mean, isn't that also kind of strange?
Well, yeah. Why go Hawaii when you can't afford the income in Hawaii, uh, and you have to have a roommate, your brother, and then have a tenant in your same house so you can pay your mortgage. You know, that to me, it's that was the biggest mistake he can do. He didn't get much
Yeah,
for
but
his
I think the reason it to answer that earlier question that I had, I think one of the reasons why they lived together is because both of them were like scamming the system, all right? And so
yeah,
they
yeah,
said, you know what,
low
let's
income
just
housing.
let's do it together.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm an idiot. You are also an idiot. So let's get some idiot pension, and then we scam the system, and then we rent it out, and we get money, and so we can maximize everything. I mean, that's the kind of people his parents put into this world, right?
right.
Freeloaders, basically, a bunch of fucking freeloaders, and that's about it. And I don't think that he left the US by choice. I think the problems were piling up. Everything got out of fucking control. Problems in the neighborhood. Problems with the tenants,
Cost of living.
obviously.
He left because of cost of
Cost
living.
of living,
Yeah,
whatever.
he
Short on
can't handle
money.
the money.
All these different factors. And then it's an easy decision for you, like, okay, I fucked up. I'm like in my mid 60s. I'm running out of time. I'm going to make that move because it's going to be the last thing he will ever do in his fucking life. And now, being in the Philippines, he fucked it up again by getting entangled in all this hateful fucking internet vendetta against people who intentionally got under his skin and now is spending money for fucking legal fees and um, for all that fucking litigation that he is involved in, not only with Bama, but a few other people as well. And that's how he's going to spend the rest of his days. And so, my question is, imagine this. If Frank would pass away in, say, a year or 2 or 3 years from now, then what's his legacy? What's his fucking legacy? How did he
Uh,
spend his last years of his life?
his bot
How
family. That's about it.
was that
Just,
was that a good decision to get on YouTube? Spending so much time trying to convince people that he's probably never ever going to meet. This fucking online vendetta. Is it really worth it? And his inability to ask these questions by himself, and obviously his inability to find the right answers to these questions, is really tragic. Just the fact that he does not realize that, just the fact that it is people like us, the most hated fucking troll crew on the internet, at least in this genre, that it's people like us discussing these things. I think that's
yeah,
really that's
just like him, he likes to put a mirror in front of you and show you
yeah.
how you
But I
really
mean
are.
that's the very definition of hitting rock bottom, Frank. And I know you're listening to this right now. That's the very definition of fucking hitting rock bottom. Think about it. Your brother is gone. You have no regular communication with your daughter. Your relationship with your sister obviously is fucked up. You're living overseas. Spend your fucking time trying to screen the fucking internet if somebody somewhere said something negative about you, and you do live streams 3-4 times a day about really nothing.
And spending his money on
Look
lawsuits
in the fucking mirror,
in real
Frank, and
life.
ask yourself if that's what
I
you're
want to be
going,
that.
if that's
I want to exactly be
what
like
you
you,
really
Frank.
want to do
Waste
for
money.
the next few years. Yeah. Ask yourself, Frank, is that what you want to do in the next few years? Or will you just dismiss this as some sort of a psychological warfare strategy? As always, you would just dismiss it, it's just aloe talk, that's just trolls, they're just hateful, they're just jealous, they just want to live the life I have. Roberto is just not as skinny as I am, and Alan Fry is not selling enough dildos because he also wants to live in Santa Fe. Is that how you are going to dismiss this? Or are you clever enough, smart enough, at least for once, to listen and say, enough is enough, let it go, walk away from it, go fuck your girlfriend, drink
The
some
cute,
coconut
cute,
juice,
cute Gilda.
and get yourself a bike and ride around the island. Just try to be happy. Forget about all this. And if you really need to go after Bama, then just do it, and then let us know in a year or two once the verdicts are out. Don't tell us what kind of a great guy you are, because nobody actually really thinks that way. Everybody just, and as you in deep inside, you know it. Nobody is going to fucking help you with money. They let you do the dirty work. And there's nothing to be proud about this. You know why? Because nobody is caught up in this shit up to the point that
That's
they are so
exactly what it is.
hateful that
Nobody's
they
caught
are
up.
going to cash out money for something like that. You are the only nut job out there who is
He's the only
crazy
idiot
enough
that
to
went out
go to
and
this
spent the
fucking
money.
prosecutor's office, file cases, look through all the things that Bama has said and others, keeping files, having folders about whatever people say on the internet about you. That's a sign of obsession, Frank. You are sick. You are sick, Frank. You are fucking sick in the head. And you don't even fucking know it. You don't even fucking see it. Your brother died, Frank. And yet you just continue with this shit. There's no change of behavior, nothing. And people would actually respect you for that and say, you know what? This shit has been too much for me. My brother passed away. I need space. People out there would respect that. They would say, you know what? This is the first time Frank somehow sounds
Human.
as if he makes sense. We can respect. I would respect something like that. I can only speak on my behalf, but I think that there are other people out there who say, you know what? Frank lost his brother. That's shit. That's painful. That's traumatic. Let's lay low for a while, right? But then again, you invite a reaction because you yourself keep pissing and shitting on Michael Fazio, and we know that you are not Michael Fazio's best friend. But when you do that, then I want to remind you, isn't it that you are the guy who bashed us because we said something about Mike Cason? Isn't
Exactly.
it that you make us, you talk about us as if we were poor evil? But isn't it that you do exactly the same? I'm not pointing any fingers. If you think that we are evil
Hypocrite.
and bad,
The biggest
fine.
hypocrite
But
on the
you are
face of
just
the face
as
of the
evil
earth.
and as bad as we are, right?
Yep, he's just evil. He wants to be like us. Remember, Aloe, when he first came on our show back in the day with the RRR? He wanted to be accepted by the RRR because he wanted to be like us. He wanted to be able to, have people on his show and, and interact with different people. He wanted that, and he was jealous of that. He was jealous of us, so he wanted to be like it. Now the tide has turned and he's exactly like us, like we were. He's doing the same exact thing. He's hateful. He's whatever. He's doing everything that he said he wouldn't do.
Yeah, yeah. That's
He could
obvious.
put us down
That's
for it.
obvious. It's
Yep.
absolutely obvious. He only uses, he always takes things out of context. He always uses certain things that support his narrative. When he says, all these other people, they're talking bad about Filipinas and the bad about the Filipino people. Listen to them. They are disrespecting the Filipino people. Frank doesn't give a shit about the Filipino people. He doesn't give a shit about anyone out there talking bad about Filipinas or disrespecting them. He just uses it because it happens to be that the other guy said something that could be interpreted and seen as being disrespectful to Filipinas or other women. And therefore, he uses that to rally the troops behind him, to
Well,
win
he needs to
sympathy out there.
look
He
back and
himself, he
see that
himself
there's
doesn't give a
thousands of
shit about anything. Yeah,
foreigners in the
he
Philippines
himself,
disrespecting
yeah,
Filipinos. Go after them,
yeah,
Francis.
he himself
If you're
doesn't give a
such
shit
a
about that.
police sheriff in this community, why don't you go after those guys?
Yeah,
Very
he
small
himself doesn't. He
potatoes
never he
compared
never
to
gave a shit about that.
yeah.
Or with the Mike Cason case, it's like, oh, it's so fucking disrespectful when you talk about the dead, and they were so disrespectful. Popeye was talking about Mike will just come out with a toe tag, and that is so disgusting. He himself shits on Michael
Fazio.
Fazio. He
Yep, with the
himself
toe tag.
wishes dead
Yep,
on people, several people. He
exactly.
himself has
Hypocrite,
threatened people with physical threat. He
hypocrisy.
himself said, he himself said that if he would meet me in person, he would he would be cold cocking me or something like that. He would
Cold cock.
call the police,
Cold
cold
cock.
cock me,
Cold
and
cock.
he would call the police,
Cold
and he would
cock.
say, cold cock. Okay, hang on a second.
Yeah,
He would
like a
call
cock.
the
Like a
police
cock in your mouth.
and
Cold cock.
and accuse me of stealing his wallet. And that
Right.
just really says a lot about this
Yeah, I
fucking
heard that too.
character.
That's pretty
Yeah, you
low.
heard it too, right? So making
Yeah.
false
Yep.
accusations just because he wants you to get in trouble.
Yep.
And that's just I don't know. That says a lot about who he is and what kind of
Well,
person
I
he
can
is.
actually
And
make
I
a prediction now, Lo, that in a few months or so, this gentleman we're talking about will get his due diligence per se. So stay tuned. That's all I got to say. I'm not gonna say any more. I'm not gonna be like Francis and spill out everything on YouTube. I'm gonna keep it to myself.
and that's one other thing that I always wanna add. I observed that when people make fun of him, but in a sarcastic way, where they praise him, he doesn't see the sarcasm in it.
Right.
And it happened many times when people say, you look like an old actor, or
Right.
you have a very good voice, or have you ever thought of getting into um, photography, the arts, or into politics or something like that? He doesn't see the sarcasm behind it. He doesn't see
No.
and realize that people are actually making fun of him, he craves this validation, this feeling of being important, being talented, have this feeling of being better than others. And it's kind of like, it's a little bit like little man syndrome, what you guys refer to as little man syndrome, but there is more to it. It's like, I don't know if it's his upbringing. He's very sensitive about that, and he doesn't see the joke behind it. And when somebody doesn't see that, and somebody doesn't realize that, then that's really a sign that he is not all there. It is so fucking obvious. I mean, one time I even, I remember like a year ago, he blocked me on his channel. I would say things to him, and then I would in the same time predict what he would say and react, because some guys in there just asked him the questions.
Stroking him.
Yeah, there's basically like, Alo is in the chat.
Stroking his ego.
He is blocked, but Alo is asking this and this and this, and he didn't see it, but he saw the questions because somebody else asked him the questions on my behalf. And then in the same time, I answered the questions even before he answered, and everybody was laughing their ass off because he answered these questions exactly the way how I predicted it. And you guys, even the fact that he is here now, you guys could just try it by yourself. I give you a couple of examples. For instance, ask him what do you use for your skincare, Frank? You really look younger than your age, and then wait and see what fucking happens. I'm telling you, wait and see what fucking happens. The second thing, Frank, what do you think about the political situation in the Philippines? Do you think it's stable enough for me to move to the Philippines? Because there are some problems with the Chinese in the South China Sea, which is a topic he has no fucking clue about. But then he would just get involved with some fantasy shit where he talks and talks and talks about really nothing, and that's where you can detect that you're talking to a fucking nut job. Anyway, that's pretty obvious. Who's on the panel here? That looks a bit like a Big E sign, or who is on the panel here? Who came on the panel here, Mr. Victory?
That's correct. It's me.
Oh man, it's the man himself.
I was invited.
It's the man himself.
And I came up because I have proof positive that you are Alan Fry. You're talking about cold cocks, and it's a subliminal message that you really do work for a dildo company when it's a new lineup. Alan Fry's cold cocks. But I caught you. Yeah, now we can run it all through YouTube.
I'm a buyer of his products. I brought maybe about.
I am too. I got a whole bag of that shit back home.
Yeah. Well, you actually had a chance to be in his factory in Switzerland, right? You were there.
Well, I met him in Switzerland twice. But Frank doesn't want to believe it.
I said twice. Yeah, twice.
He can't accept that we actually met. And
the AirPods I'm using now, the very AirPods that I'm using now, are a gift of Big E here.
There you go. And we went to a Mexican restaurant.
The Mexican restaurant in Zürich Stadelhofen. It was not a long meeting. He just gave it to me, and then he went on his way. I just came home from work. And
I want to tell you how it happened, though, when Alo meets somebody, which, again, Frank won't believe it, but you have to sort of sit there with your hands on the table.
You didn't like
guys
that
comes
part.
up and they frisk you for your phone and for any kind of hidden cameras that you have. They run a radio scanner around to make sure there's no bugs, and then he comes in, a 6'1" guy, and he talks to you, but you get frisked before you talk to him, and I kind of liked it. It felt pretty good. And we might meet again next week when I'm back in the Philippines. I hope it's possible we might do a live stream together side by side.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions. I would like to talk to you about a lot of things. I'll give you a hint. I will ask you a few questions regarding my first impressions of you back then when you came on the scene, but you have been around for a very long time, and then how that perception of mine has changed over time, and of course, regarding the situation right now where I see or sense that there is a certain group of people who is going to hold that against you, that you are associating with guys like me and to a lesser extent Roberto and a couple of other guys, because I think that's going to be a big theme over the next couple of weeks. It's basically like what we had last year when there was this, I wouldn't even call it pressure, but there was a certain group of people who tried to convince with whatever methods they had to make sure that Out of the Winter and his Out of the Winter crime family members don't get a platform and that you don't associate with us. And even without endorsing anything, even without siding with what I say or with whatever Popeye or Roberto or Nico or whatever these guys say or do, even without saying, Popeye is right, Alo is right, I support him or not, even just the fact alone that we are sitting here talking to each other, not yelling at each other, not pissing and shitting on each other, for them seems to be a very, very big deal. That seems to be a very big deal.
But that works the other way too, because I've met Ricky a bunch of times as an example, and I get along with him fine. And the other side is just as harsh when you try to be friendly with the other side. So whatever went on the time that you're referring to with Jay, that's between you and him. I don't even know all the issues. I know some of them, some of the tactics that I did know about. I totally disagree that should not be done to someone if their father's sick or dead. I disagree with you 100% on that. But that's if you and him have a fight with each other, I'm not involved in that. I'm not involved in your disagreements with Frank or Ricky or anybody else. I mean, I don't ask you when I'm having trouble with people. I don't recruit you to try to help me in my battles either. So I get dragged into it, but I'm not really involved in all those skirmishes behind the scenes. And we're not plotting and planning behind the scenes. There's no conspiracy stuff going on. A lot of people are just paranoid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Even Popeye, who was on your group, has said publicly that he doesn't agree, or I think it was Popeye, with some of the things. And I don't even know if you've done those things or it's somebody in the name of Alo did some of those things from the past. I have no idea. There's so much stuff that goes on. 99% of what I hear about myself is completely fake news. So I don't know what happened or what didn't happen. And I don't have the time or interest to sort out what happened in 2017, 18, 19 on YouTube. I've known you longer than I knew those guys. So I'm not going to just throw you under the bus to appease the other, I'm just not going to get involved in that on either side.
And, I think, only speaking for myself, I don't really pressure people or attempt or make any attempts to pressure people to choose a side. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone out there who would say something like that about me, like Alo contacted me, you should not have this person on your panel, or you should not have that person on your panel. I think I've never done something like that because I simply do not care about that. I think it's the audience who decides at the end of the day. Sometimes you like somebody, sometimes you don't like somebody, and at the end of the day, it's I look at it as a competition, and it goes like back and forth. And I never really felt like I need to recruit somebody and or put pressure on somebody not to have this or that person on the panel. I think people would figure that out. I think it's a weak strategy. I think going on any panel is always a good thing. At the end of the day, it's the audience who decides. Because most of the guys out there that they see through the bullshit. You can't really always
Yeah.
control things.
Well, a good example of this is Roberto and I have been friendly with each other all along for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And he has been in and out. It's cyclical. Like there's times where he was fighting Ricky. There's other times where he's friendly. And like sometimes you go through those phases and then you get over it and everything goes back to normal. So I'm not going to live my life in a never ending fight on YouTube 24/7. I have no interest in doing that. I don't think Roberto does either. Oops.
Nobody should live like that.
This one
Nobody should
person.
fucking waste time doing something like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. And actually, it's a strength to walk away from this every now and then. And I think most of us do that. I mean, I know that Roberto does it all the time. I did it many times. I know that Popeye does it every now and then. And I think you too, Biggie. Sometimes you completely disappear from YouTube, and then all of a sudden you pop up again, and then you come out with like 4, 5, 6, 7 shorts and live streams in New York, Dublin, Netherlands, Switzerland, Middle East.
What I do on that, Aloe, is I try not to do any vlogging or do very little vlogging in the Philippines because I think the Philippines is the most overvlogged country in the world. And there's so much of that going on. And I just, if I'm going to go somewhere different, then I want to show people. But if I'm in the Philippines, I might do once in a blue moon, but that's when I usually take my time off.
Because it's kind of like your home turf, right? And it loses its, how should I say? It's like you live there most of, probably most of the time. And everything has been out there already, right? Everything has been.
You can only show Ayala Mall so many times. You can only show. The Philippines doesn't have a lot of things to show really that are super compelling because part of it's because it has been overvlogged. If I were to go to the Philippines and say I'm going to go to Sulu or to Tawi-Tawi, then I would feel that is compelling. I'm going to show that. Or if I went to, the tip of northern Luzon, I would say, okay.
But Big E, if you show the same things over and over, you're still going to get new people that's on your show that have never been to the Philippines and want to see those things. Even though it seems repetitive, when you show Ayala Mall 100,000 times, you still got people out there who never been there. I like to see it because I miss home, especially a lot of us who are born there or make vacations there. We like to see those things. We like to see the surroundings of the Philippines, the true looks of the Philippines. That makes us homesick.
I hear you. I've been living there for 10 years, so at some point, if I don't feel passionate, it's hard for me to do it and just fake it. So. I feel like there's so many vloggers that I don't know why it's so overvlogged, but I think that you don't need people like me to show you that. I think if I'm going to a place like the Netherlands or Switzerland or something, it's so undervlogged that every time you show something, it seems like it's fresh and new. That's my own way of thinking. I might be wrong about that.
Well, yeah, because at the same time, people are not here to see Netherlands, or
I think
what I mean.
One of
because the Philippine community is here to see the Philippines. Now, if they wanted to go see Netherlands or Switzerland, then they go to their genre.
I think one of the reasons why Biggie mentioned it's overflow.
Does that make sense?
Use that term, right?
Yeah.
The reason is because all these foreign bloggers, they know that the Philippines is social media crazy. And once you have a foreigner in the Philippines blogging about Manila, Cebu, and Boracay and whatever, people will watch it. It's the easiest way to jumpstart a YouTube career, because it's an English-speaking country. Filipinos love these fucking bloggers out there. Kyle Jennerman, Dazovic, and all these guys, Finn Snow, and all these guys. And you often see titles such as "Foreigner reacts to BGC" or "Foreigner eats first balut" or something like that. The Filipinos love that, and that's where you get the views. But I think I understand when you say, Biggie, when you say it's not really exciting for you anymore. And maybe I should also mention that I do these things, like Ayala and all that. But in my case, it's a form of trolling. I know that people out there don't need my 10, 15 seconds videos where I am somewhere walking up and down the road in whatever place. But in my case, it's trolling, because I do know that the people are looking at my content, not because it's well edited or whatever. There are people out there who look at it and say, he was here.
Mhm.
Do you think we can get the CCTV cam? Do you think he's still here? He was walking up, down this hotel, that restaurant. Can we get the CCTV footage? But do you think, did he upload that a week ago, a month ago, or was that just today? Look at the weather. It was raining. That's not a coincidence. No, that's exactly what's happening. And I just
Yes.
love that. And that's the reason why I do it. It's
Someone's echoing really bad.
nothing else.
Roberto,
Yeah, somebody's echoing.
really bad.
Echo? I don't have anything on. Am I echoing? Echo? No?
Nah,
Hello?
That's you.
that's you.
But I have my YouTube. Let me try it like this. I turned the YouTube off completely, so I don't know why.
Yeah, you're fine now. Yep.
Well, when I first started my YouTube channel, I had listened to you guys for a year before, and what if you remember back in that time, 2018 or so, the thing that you guys criticized the most was e-beggars.
Yeah.
When I started my channel, I said I made a vow early on, I'm never going to monetize my channel. Even when I had 20,000, I never monetized it because I never wanted to be an e-beggar. So I don't really care about building the channel. You know what I mean? Wow. Let me get out.
So,
And come right.
So
I
what do
think
you
it's
think,
you is echoing.
Iggy, what do you think why Francis is begging for money for his attorney? You think he's broke, or he doesn't want to spend his money and he expects us to help him out? What do you think of that?
Let me come back, okay? Because can you put the link back down? I'm going to go on my phone and see if that helps.
Yeah, sure.
You're not echoing. I hear you fine.
No, he is echoing.
He's echoing?
Yeah. But at least it was like a sound check for me, so I hear myself, and I fucking love to hear myself. When I hear myself echo, I love that.
Alo, answer that question too.
Why is Frank asking for support? Because he realizes that he has spent a whole lot of money for this, and now he sees, wow, I'm the only guy out there who is spending money for this. Everybody else is just enjoying the show. Now the echo is still there. I'm pretty sure that's you, Roberto.
Hello. I don't have anything on.
Hello.
Let's see if no, I'm only on StreamYard. I don't have YouTube on or nothing. I don't have YouTube. On my phone, do I have YouTube?
How about now? One, two.
You sound good.
What the fuck is going on? Because before it wasn't like
an echo, Alan, a little bit of an echo.
Maybe it's because are you wearing a headphone or earpods?
Yeah, I wear AirPods. But we were like talking like fucking hours already, and it never there was never a fucking echo. You know what? I would just hop off and come on again. Let's do that. Okay.
Who?
Uh, me. I will hop off and then I get back on.
How about now? Is there an echo?
No, you're fine.
I hear an echo. It's on your side, bro.
Really? That's
I'll
weird.
mute my microphone. Try it.
Test. Test. See, I don't hear no echo. Echo.
Well, let me just answer your question.
Okay.
Can you mute your own microphone while I answer you?
Sure.
Okay, hopefully that'll be better. One of the sad things and tragic things, and I think everybody in the audience there will echo this, no pun intended. 80% of the American public, correct me if I'm wrong on this, has less than $1,000 in the bank. 80%, and I think 90%, 95% has less than $5,000 in the bank. So that could be, if you're in your 60s and you're in that category where you have less than $5,000 to your name, that could be a very scary thing. And that's why I think they take to e-begging. I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people don't have the amount of money that they claim they do. And it's tough to get by month by month, especially as we see inflation. The prices in the Philippines have skyrocketed in the past 3 years. Like everything has literally doubled. So that's my theory why there's so many people that are begging, to answer your question.
And I think that's true because I think he's gotten to the point where enough is enough. I'm not going to spend any more money, because the more money he spends, the more he's dwindling his savings, right? So I could see that, he needs the help, because eventually his money's not going to last long. I don't care what you say. His money's not going to last long. Even his savings, the more he tap into his savings, that's the more he's got less to work with. Not all of us are fortunate like yourself, myself, that has 401k, has pensions. Soon I'll have Social Security. Matter of fact, my 401k last year hit 26%, and we went over $5,000 in our savings. So I'm not going to get to worry about my future in the next 20 years if I live that long. And my wife, she has 2 pensions and Social Security, so we're good. People like Francis, who's working on his savings account and his Social Security, it's not going to last long. Eventually it's going to be straight Social Security. So that's why.
Well, I
But
can tell
don't
you
you?
from living there, the cost of living, whatever the COLA has been for Social Security, is not even close to what the inflation in the Philippines was post-COVID. You can look at right when COVID started, a chicken, at a roasted chicken, let's say, was 160 pesos. Now it's 330 pesos. I mean, everything has gone up really, really sharply. And the Philippines is much more expensive now than Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, drastically more expensive. And I think if you're on that same fixed income now, it's no longer cheap to live there. And I think if they can't make it there, they either have to come up with an alternative source of income, or they have to look for a different country.
Don't you think it has also to do with the fact that he is the only guy out there who's actually spending money for YouTube drama? And sometimes he just fucking realizes it and says, you know what? Maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I should start asking for donations.
Yeah, I could see that. Because everybody's said it in the past. I mean, he told him, it said, "Why are you retiring?" I mean, especially you people on his channel, his new subscribers coming on and said, "Why are you there retiring supposed to be enjoying your retirement, but yet you're here dealing with another American on a lawsuits. Damn, there's got to be a mental issue with that. I don't care
That
what
is a
anybody
mental
says.
illness. And it's also a
It is.
mental illness to move to a foreign country and never go anywhere.
Yes.
I'm thankful with my type of work. I travel a lot because I get bored easily. And when I feel I'm getting to my Philippine quotient, like I'm starting to have an attitude problem, I leave the country immediately to work on my own attitude. And then I come back and I'm happy again. If I was sitting
And how
in this
far is
place,
Hawaii on a plane ride? 8 hours?
9 hours. 8 or 9.
9 hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than coming from the States and 13, 14 hours. I mean, 9 hours on a plane, it's like nothing. He can go back and forth to Hawaii, visit his brother, or go to Seattle and visit his daughter or whatever. I mean, he doesn't have to stay, or we can fly to Asia. I mean, South Korea or Thailand or what?
Hong Kong is only less than 2 hours away.
Yeah, it's 3 hours from Hong Kong
Taipei.
to on Cathay Pacific for me to Cebu. So 3 hours. It's nothing. Hello?
So for me, I would have a hard time relating to that shut-in type of mentality where you're in one location and you never leave and you're always in your house. I don't want that kind of lifestyle if I can help it. I'd rather be a little more mobile than that,
Well, what other, or who do you know, who other expat do you know that, moves to the Philippines and just, well, I could name actually a couple because what's that guy named, that old man in, not Bataan, but in Old Man New Tricks or something like that. He seems like he's always in his apartment blogging. I mean, I don't hardly ever see him do anything. And then at least that old guy in Bohol, or was it Bohol? The old guy from the British guy. At least he's
Alfred?
out and about in his small province. The farming in the Philippines, I guess.
Foreigner in the Philippines.
Foreigners, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
to
pretty
answer
much go
your
anywhere
question,
either.
most of the expats are, I mean, they're not shut in 24 hours a day, but they don't do as much as you might think. I don't think they move to the Philippines to go and explore the 7107 islands. I think there's other motives. By the way, if people are into islands, the U.S. has 18,000 islands or two if they're truly into islands. Norway has over 300,000.
How many are actual people on it?
Most of the 7107 are not people either. Indonesia has 18,000 islands. And, so Norway is number one. I think Finland has 170,000 islands.
I really
Has
wonder
anyone
why
here, like you, Aloe or Big E, are you guys willing to go to Mindanao, go somewhere like Sulu or that place down there, way south?
I've been to Sulu
Have you
and
ever thought of-
Tawi-Tawi and Basilan before, and Zamboanga. Zamboanga is very beautiful.
Have you been there?
Yeah. And there's no issue at all. It's all fake news. There's no. They're all super nice and beautiful. Years ago, there was a little bit of Abu Sayyaf action, but they were not targeting people in cities, only out in the middle of the jungle somehow.
I want to make it out there. But my trip coming up, of course, I'm probably see you. I'm still planning on meeting with you in Boracay.
Well, we can
It
go
may not
down
be
there
all.
together if you want. If you're afraid, I'll protect you. I'll protect you in Cthulhu. You big pussy.
Protect me. Trust me, I'll have more entourage with me than you think. No,
All kidding
no,
aside, I go all through the Muslim world, and I've never been mistreated even for 1 second, including in southern Mindanao. Never had any issues at all.
the actual Sulu. You've been
Yeah,
there.
I've been to Sulu, Basilan, Zamboanga City.
Zamboanga? No,
Mm-hmm.
that's the worst place there. You been there?
No, Zamboanga City has 1 million people, dude. Think about it. How are they functioning if they're constantly under assaults? I'm telling you, it's mostly fake news. It's much more dangerous in Manila than it is Zamboanga City.
I remember 2000, 2001, 2000. I went to the Philippines, and my brother has been getting these Muslims from the mountains. I guess they came from Mindanao. They went there to recruit and to get supplies and stuff, whatever. And he befriended one of them, and he'd go up to the mountains, meet with them because they were like staying up in the mountains and in the province there near Ormoc and Abrera, that area there, and they were coming down asking people for money and supplies and things like that. But they were pretty cool guys, what he was telling me. But yeah, they were only
They're
there
not
for
in
about
the
a year.
city. I was in cities, not in the jungles or mountains of those provinces.
Well, yeah, it's more dangerous if you go outside the city, and especially if you're white or foreigner, they're gonna probably kidnap you for ransom. But
I
yeah,
think
staying in the city probably safer.
they've rooted most of that out, though. That what you're talking about, early
The
2000s stuff.
Philippine Army.
Yeah, and the U.S. Special Forces. I think they worked together and they got rid of 90% of that or more.
Would that be a problem for you, Roberto?
No, because I'm like them. I mean, are they going to look at me and say I'm a freaking foreigner? I just shut my mouth and don't say anything. Just like, be humble. And they wouldn't think I'm a foreigner.
What if one of these rebels would want to fuck you?
Well, then I got to do it for the team,
Okay.
If it's, our
That
life
makes
is,
sense.
yeah. I don't want them to rape my daughters and stuff. Say, hey, just rape me. Just stick your dick in my ass, please. If you want to get satisfied. Don't touch my daughters. Got to take it for the team, No,
This shit here really pisses me off, because I know that there's a fucking echo and I can't figure it out.
I can't either because I have all my everything
It's shit like these,
off except for my
all the
live
hate,
stream.
all the drama. I can deal with it, right? But the fucking echo, that's just too much for me too.
You gonna
just
commit
crumble.
suicide? You gonna commit suicide?
I wouldn't say suicide, but it would fucking trigger me somehow. When the shit doesn't work, it makes me feel powerless as a keyboard
Well, I thought
warrior
you
who
bought these
hides behind the
expensive
screen.
earpods and phones, and shouldn't have any problems like that. I'm using external microphone.
Let's put it, because when you talk, it sounds very good, right? And then Big E came on, and then we thought it's him. Then he leaves, and the fucking echo is still there. And now I come on again, and the fucking echo is there. But at the beginning of the fucking show, there was no echo at all. And now that I am talking, I hear my
Roberto's the
fucking
weak link.
echo. So that might be an indication that it's really not me, but I just always hear myself
You know what,
in the
Allo?
fucking echo.
There is no echo. This is a sure sign that you need to pop some benzos. Maybe
Yeah,
you need to see a
that's
doctor.
what I was afraid of.
It's a karma. The karma's it's hitting you hard.
Fucking Frank B effect. There is no echo. Your AirPods are
Well,
working
this
fine.
is one
Everything is
message I got to
all
give to
right.
Francis, and I'm gonna talk to Francis like he would talk to me. The reason I say that karma hits you and that Al's dead because of that is because the devil karma himself says, well, okay, since you're gonna, laugh about Fazio dying, well, let me turn it on you. And so here you go. Blank, Al's dead. And you didn't know for about 2 weeks. That's karma. That's all I can say about that.
Hang on a second here. Sabong and SR say the echo comes from Roberto's mic. You could see Roberto's avatar flickering. Therefore, he's got the echo. I tell you something, Roberto. You're my friend. I respect you. But if I fucking find out that this echo comes from you, then we're fucking done here. Because if there's one thing I don't fucking like is when a live stream gets fucked up because of technical issues.
It is Roberto. He just muted his microphone and the echo went away.
See?
Fuck
And
you
I'm
guys.
not
I just
happy
spent
about that.
$120 on
No,
this
I'm not
freaking
fucking
external
happy about
microphone.
this. What kind of
Really?
fucking microphone is that anyway?
It's Insignia. It's $120 Insignia.
No.
Microphone.
That's not good. That's not good. You should get yourself the Elgato Wave 3. I usually use the Elgato Wave 3, and my God, it's a good fucking microphone. Else you can get the Rode or the Sennheiser, or the one Andy Omar is using. I used that one before.
Big E, what are you using? Just a regular earpod?
I'm just using my iPhone. I was using my computer.
Yeah, I bet you I use my iPhone. I can. Here, hang on.
I'm so fucking jealous of you, Big E. You know why? Because you have all these fucking devices that I can't afford. And it just makes me feel kind of like I always want to give you a thumbs down on your shorts and stuff like that, because I feel kind of like you are overtaking, or you're just coming out with better content.
How did you afford the
right?
trip from Switzerland to the Philippines?
I'm not in the Philippines. I just pretend I'm in the Philippines. I just hired a guy with the orange watch.
I know that you didn't do that because the guy with the orange watch has these big sausage fingers, and you got little gay boy fingers.
Exactly. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. No, but on a more serious note, I checked out this 360 Go 3 whatever device, and I must say it's quite impressive, and I love shit like that. My question is it enough to actually switch to another device? Because I actually also use my iPhone, and I'm absolutely happy about it. The microphone is great. You can shoot in 4K. You always have your fucking phone with you. And since I'm in the Apple ecosystem, I